All right. Hello, hello. Oh wow, it's super loud. Why is that so loud? Maybe Corvus is really quiet. Oh, welcome back, everybody. Whip. We are on YouTube today. This is not the music I want.
Music is a tad wild.
Yeah, I don't know how to turn it down. Why do I have two desktop audios going? That's not normal.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, hold on. That might fix it. Let me know how that is. Bionic, hello, hello. How are you today? I'm doing well. Why is the music so angry? Cake Seagulls, huh? Let's see if that song's good. Yeah, that sounds fun. Alright. It is Wednesday. Hello, Bluest Druid. Hello, Running Over Raptor. Hello, hello, hello. There's a link to the Aggie.io software, not a sponsor, that we are using today. In the Discord, all over the place. It is the viewer suggested. There is a poll up on the YouTube community page if you'd like to add something to it. We have a couple we can draw today. And that's it. That's all I got going on. I did my exercises this morning. I woke up too early, and I am super amped.
Not even 8 suggestions.
I got my D8 somewhere. Here. There it is. So normally what we do is we put up a poll. We let people post the creatures they want to see drawn. And then I roll a die and we draw it. So that's what we're going to do. People are welcome to roll their own dice and draw their own thing. Maybe I should put a link to that somewhere. I'll probably put a link to that. I hope this works. If it doesn't work, let me know. I will post this in the Discord, in the voice channel chat, see if that works. If that doesn't work, please let me know. People can add to it, people can draw it. We're hanging out today. What's up?
Indeed it does.
I'm eating beef jerky, which is probably not smart, but I'm hungry. I want that protein. Here we go! Oh no, I'm going to start with a rugby. I rolled a 1. So Meg B, we're going to draw your corgis. Fairy Corgi Cavalier. That's pretty great. I should have read that first. But we'll do that. We'll draw a Corgi Cavalier. But we're going to start with the rugby, per the normal. Stream hype. Thank you for the stream hype. I did something I hope is not silly for my birthday, which is coming up. So hopefully we will see how that goes. And I'm excited and terrified for it, so we'll see what happens. Boop, boop, boop.
Right now I've got to get used to Aggie again. I've been drawing in Krita all morning.
Shame on
Yes, how dare I be productive with my morning?
you. Exactly. How dare you? Make
How
us
is
look
your-
bad.
How's your animatic coming? I assume that's what you were working on.
No, actually, I thought about doing that, and then I decided I wanted to pick up an older project. And so I started doing in-depth anatomy sketches,
Nice.
learning. I didn't get very far with that before I got real bored. But spent a bunch of time learning all of the specific structures in the pelvis.
I did a bunch of those sketches for that How to Draw book, which is hopefully in the process of being made. I think I might start doing that for Instagram. Just start making little tiny mini tutorials and just putting them up there. I think that would be fun. One of my friends is not into Twitch. He just doesn't use Twitch hardly ever. And so he's trying to figure out, like, what's so special about Twitch? And I'm like, I don't know. It exists. That's the thing. And And so he went online, and of course he didn't like have anybody to go check out or anything. So he just started looking at like the top viewed channels, and he discovered he discovered the ASMR section. And he's just like, the fuck is this? He started, I could not fault him. Like, it's weird. No kink shame. Just like, it's strange to me. A whole bunch of grown adults just licking microphones on the internet.
I don't see how that's like relaxing. 'Cause that was like, its intention was to relax me.
Well, I understand the base concept of ASMR. Like, there is something nice about someone's soothing voice, right? Like, that's great. That's relaxing. That's how hypnotherapy works.
Yeah.
But, like, if you go on Twitch, or at least this was what it was yesterday, the top ASMR channels were all people with those weird ear-shaped microphones licking the ears. And it's just like, I'm not happy. I don't like this. So,
Awkward.
I don't need anybody to explain it to me. And once again, no kink shame. If that's what you're into, cool. It was a very strange introduction for my friend to Twitch. And I was just like, you should watch some gaming channels. Stay away from the ASMR.
Yeah,
Watch
definitely.
Elden Ring.
Everybody and their mother is playing and watching Elden Ring right now, including myself. We totally get it.
Like my brother.
It's good. Good game. It's been described as Dark Souls and Breath of the Wild, and that is very accurate. Very accurate.
Very
It's like they just took the Dark Souls engine and were like, what if we made Breath of the Wild? It's like, yeah, but what if we didn't fix the multiplayer? Okay.
Who needs multiplayer? Rick does.
Some people like weird things. Yeah, absolutely. What did I join to? You joined us bashing ASMR channels, I guess. Which is not my intent, but yeah, that's what happened.
The only ASMR I have ever enjoyed listening to is the bit in the rebooted Will and Grace, where Jack and Karen and
Jack and who?
Jack and Karen.
No, you lost me. I never watched Will and Grace. Probably should have. I definitely lived through it, but I know exactly who you're talking about, just from like passiveness.
It's really funny because they choose ASMR as as an opportunity to have like a confrontation.
Oh, they have like an angry SMR session?
Yeah, it's a super,
That sounds funny.
super angry, whispered fight.
That sounds pretty great. I remember back like 10 years ago, when one of my friends tried to, like when ASMR was just kind of becoming a thing that people knew about, he was like, I'm way into this. And I'm like, what do you mean you're way into it? He's just like, I don't know, it's amazing and I love it. And I was like, so he sent me some videos of people just like crinkling bags of chips. And I was just like, I kind of get it, but I also don't get it. So, yeah, it's just each its own thing. Guild Wars 2 has launched an expansion pack this week. Oh, poor Guild Wars. You picked a bad time.
Yeah.
No one's going to play you right now. I got into Guild Wars 2 when it came out. Like, I bought it when it came out, and we played it for like a month, and I just never touched it again. Some of my friends got really into it. It looked cool. Definitely looked cool. And I have applied to work at that place that I keep forgetting the name of. They did not hire me, so their loss. Their loss.
Rugby's will be different today. In a good way.
Rugby's a proud boy.
Your style
I
is.
didn't mean that as a like.
That not a proud boy. Proud boys, go fuck yourselves. Rugby is a proud, comma boy. He's very happy today. Like I said, I'm amped up today. And I hope for good reason. These are the deep questions. ArenaNet, yeah. I applied for ArenaNet. They did not hire me. Mind you,
extremely weird for Rugby to be a white supremacist, considering
Yeah.
considering he's either a goblin
Oh.
or a bugbear or both.
I don't know if that's a good joke to make. I was gonna make a self-hating goblin joke, but that's
Ooh.
kind of wildly inappropriate. People don't hate each other, you know? Like, just be cool.
Yeah.
Be cool to each other. There's no reason for any of that.
Be excellent to each other.
Be excellent to each other. That's the way to live. Way too much hate in the world right now.
Your drawing style has shifted a little bit.
I think mainly what has happened, because I've been spending a lot of time drawing over the last few months.
Mm-hmm.
And now, because I'm done with those projects, I'm not exhausted. So I'm actually able to, like, my line confidence has greatly improved. I've noticed that. And then the other thing I've been doing is I've been trying to engage my characters more. That's a weird thing to think about. Isn't he green? Actually, no. Rugby is not green.
I mean, he's got green legs.
He's got green legs, but he's wearing a brown bugbear rug. Has it been too long? Do people not know the origin of Rugby anymore? And how dark and twisted he is? But no, yeah, I've been trying to do some things with my art, especially just like cleaner lines. These actually, this still bothers me right here. These should be the same direction because they're the same shadow. These are better, but I picked two different directions, so we'll see what happens there. But that's just little things I'm trying to clean up. That's usually why I do a Rugby first, because Rugby is very simple. I need to do a how to draw a Rugby tutorial. Draw two boxes, draw two circles, draw a rhombus. Legs and a mouth.
I usually do his head as a stretched out hexagon.
Yeah. I think that was a Jonas invention. The hexagonal head. Because I wanted to go very much like Gur.
Yeah.
Gur mixed with a furry.
That is not how Gur looks. I totally screwed that up. But Jonas did a really fun thing the first time I think I saw him. Yep, there you go. Gur's head is a box. That's what it is.
Jonas's Rugby doesn't have a neck.
Yeah. Jonas's Rugby, and his nose is also attached to like the very top of his head.
Yeah. Jonas's Rugby is a paper bag.
Sock puppet Rugby.
He's a sock puppet Rugby, yeah.
Which is hilarious and wonderful.
I used to all the time. One of the first characters I kind of drew consistently. This is funny because now the community draws turned into things I draw. This was actually one of my freshman capstone video animations. Was this guy? Just a little square-headed robot.
Hey, Bri, welcome to the chat.
Howdy, howdy. Very Mega Man-esque, but with a blocky head. And I put this guy on everything. Like, I put him on skateboards, made 3D animations out of him. Just a fun little character. Then eventually I made the big round-headed dude. Same body. Just a little robot. The reason it was my capstone animation was because I fully rigged and animated all the fingers. So I gave them like fully articulated fingers that I could control with a rig. It was really cool.
Okay.
It was really, really cool. So I made the body super simple, but it was a character that I kept doodling all the time and had a whole story for. That's fun. Like that's a fun way to go, you know, just coming up with shit. Keep working on things.
I've never had a character that I drew over and over again. I think that is specifically why I didn't go into illustration and animation, why I went into sculpture instead. Because I had very carefully, apparently, been steered away from those industries in my schooling and towards like high fine art, which turned out to be something that I absolutely despise.
Yeah, I see a lot of people do these two things. They think like, man, I love animation. And then, thank you, Bri, for the donation. I appreciate that. And then they discover that they don't like drawing the same thing 30 times over and over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Yep.
And then there are people who do like fine arts degrees that will spend months and months and months on one painting and then fall in love with animation because you just get to draw simple things so much. So I think it's very much like part of your mentality of what you like to do, like whether you like doing really, really static detail work or if you like to do like really loose, repetitive stuff. And it's just kind of I'm not a big fan of doing animation because of that. But also, I don't know, kind of, that's not how dog legs work.
Yeah. I really like most process-driven sort of things. And I do like the simplicity of animation, but like I am also in love with fine painting and but the most important thing for me with what I draw is it needs to feel like it tells a story.
I got really into, I wanted to be a comic book artist for a long time. And then I discovered that that's actually 6 jobs, like most things. And now with digital, it's actually a lot easier to just be a self-published comic book artist. But how's everyone doing today? I hope everyone's doing well. I'm doing great. I'm awake.
Yeah.
Happy.
I had a productive morning. I learned some stuff. I feeling pretty good health-wise. And then I just kind of sat down and draw a whole bunch of veggie pygmies. Which I don't quite have simplified enough for them to be my mascot, but
Yeah.
I'm getting there.
Well, you are the bluest druid, so maybe you just need to make a blue one.
Maybe.
Were you going to keep that name with your YouTube stuff?
I think so. I don't want to rebrand again.
Yeah.
And I don't have a better name, so.
Yeah. It's like since I started doing like being on the internet, all my stuff is just Corvus. Or some variety of crow or raven-like thing, so.
Armored Corgi. Sir Corgington. So would Rubby take a shower or send himself to his dry cleaner? Prestidigitation, my friend. Prestidigitation.
Yeah.
Plus he's a goblin, so probably neither.
Oh my gosh, it would be the funniest thing ever if to have like a dry cleaner wizard and they hire like wizard interns that they only know cantrips so far in their studies and they just make them prestidigitate everything that comes through.
I mean, I kind of assume that's how it goes, right? Because like cantrips are essentially spells that are so practiced that you can do them just forever.
Yeah.
Like they're just the wave of a wand. Just nah. So I assume that's how you learn cantrips, is you just do them forever.
Sure, yeah. I mean, that makes sense to me. I rolled an 8, so I guess I'm doing Bionic's Massive Moose Minotaur Mauler Man.
Big Barbarian! Yeah, let's do that. I forgot to fill these up. So why the bathroom at all then? Haven't we talked about this with wizards? Or was that a Harry Potter thing? That might have been a Harry Potter thing. Where all the wizards just whoosh, magic their poo away. And they don't understand how toilets work.
Yeah, I think that I remember that conversation.
Because why toilet when you can just chamber pot and vanish it and not have to worry about sanitation?
That's the that's the plot of the movie Envy. Man, that is such a it's an old Ben Stiller movie with Jack Black in it. And the guy invents a spray that makes poo go away. It's called Poo Be Gone. And that's the whole like baseline for the movie, and it makes no goddamn sense, and it's great. But where'd the poo go?
Matter and energy does not just disappear.
I think I made this floofy boy's butt not big enough. Corgi butt is like the thing that makes them corgis, right?
Pretty much. I mean, that and the fact that they're basically a border collie and a chihuahua body.
A border chihuahua. I can't do it. I was trying to mix it together. Quarter wawa. Or a shorter collie. I don't know what that means.
Do I? How do I want to do this? How Bullwinkle do I want to go?
I don't see anybody else drawing. Did I erase something? Am I on the internet?
No.
Okay.
I'm using a very desaturated brush to kind of figure out my shapes first, like I usually do.
Okay. No, I see it now. I was afraid that it wasn't showing up at all.
Yeah.
Since
So
Opus
I'm
uses
just
soaps of fats and scents, as a hunter-gatherers, I think goblins would have some of the very nice and very chemical-free soaps.
I'm gonna disagree with you on this one. I think goblins are okay rolling in their own filth. And yeah. Actually, I don't see. I guess maybe goblins are hunter-gatherers. I guess that would make sense. I never saw goblins as being. I don't think of goblin towns. I think of goblin warrens. Like.
Yeah, they hunter and gathers. They hunt and gather other people's crap. They steal it.
Every mini campaign. That's pretty funny. Goblin soap seller. Also, why would you just write a letter and use the owl when you could just teleport? Is that what that says? When you can just... because I assume the thing with that is, like... I know people that text each other in the same house.
So it
What is soap made out of?
fats.
I don't know. Go watch go watch Fight Club.
okay.
No, it's
Okay,
it's
so-
lion fat is what it is.
Yeah, saponification is the chemical process that happens when you have a very strong base and it interacts with a lipid, a fatty acid, some kind of fat. So if you have a fat and you mix it with wood ash or lye or some other strong base, I don't think ammonia works. I think it has to be a stronger base. Then what happens is the lye interacts with the triglyceride. It strips the...
You're basically emulsifying something that will
Yeah.
kill things, is what you're
Yeah.
doing.
You change the molecule from being hydrophobic to being
No, I mean, what would a goblin use to make
partially
soap?
hydrophobic.
I think. Sorry, I interrupted you there.
No, you're fine.
What would a goblin use to make soap? Yeah, that's kind of my question. Like,
Oh,
thinking
I
of
might
goblins
went
as
to a very
hunter-gatherers,
dark
yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Because I don't see
Especially
goblins
when you're drawing.
going. I don't see goblins going out and like having a very well organized hunting party thing to make like fine leathers. They just goblin dogs exist and they're covered in disease and filth. So if anything, I would think that goblins maybe make soap out of horses
Yeah.
because they hate horses so much. But like goblins organizing enough to take down a horse is a challenge, right? Like that'd be a big thing.
Probably involves a hobgoblin or two.
Yeah. Which once again, I think goblins for me, when I think of goblins, it's more like they don't care. They don't care about cleanliness.
Piranhas with legs.
Yep. Can eat, will eat. I was trying to break that back into the song, but I couldn't do it. I constantly, in my universe, have goblins leave messages for each other in very unsavory liquids and or things. So we have very
Blood and
different...
excrement?
Yeah. There's some kind of brown substance smeared on the wall here with an arrow pointing that direction. Holistic goblin soap. They slay the boar for food, mix it with wood ash and wildflowers. Boom. It's a very clean goblin. I could see a goblin doing that.
I mean, my goblin probably would do that. Happy. The river goblin.
At the end of the day, I guess I just always look at goblins as kind of like giant rat folk. Whereas rat folk are like city. Rat folk are just city goblins, you know?
Maybe.
Yeah. Not necessarily socially acceptable, but tolerated
Goblin.
because they have to be.
Ew.
You've never seen a goblin dog before?
No. It's
Oh,
like
they're
a weird
horrible.
They're giant rats.
Dog rat
Yeah.
hybrid.
They're
Yeah.
giant dog rats, and if you come into contact with them, you get diseased. They don't have to bite you. You just have to be near them.
Yeah.
You get diseased and fleas and other things.
In Pathfinder, their dandruff is so bad because they're so filthy that it universally causes horrible allergic reactions to anything that is not goblinoid.
That makes this picture crazy.
Well, googly eyes, I think, were a bad idea. But I like the derp. I like the derp eyes. Boar soap. Boar soap would be pretty fun. Not like to make real boar soap, just like I like that idea of like buying boar soap. I was playing Elden Ring and I found some soap, and I was like, "The fuck? What's this for?" Just to bring it back around. Yeah.
I got the Cobalt Press Midgard campaign section book thing they have.
Okay.
A few years ago, and their gnomes. They have like a deal with Baba Yaga, and so like they like hunt people.
Oh, weird.
And they will like use the leftovers to make candles and vellum.
Oh yeah,
and
people
sell to
candles.
people.
People
And
candles
so
are
people-
definitely a thing.
Cause like everyone's always curious, like how do they have so many like high quality candles and high quality vellum? Like they're just selling it.
I mean, like the thing that's maybe people should take into mind is that that's not like just a Baba Yaga sort of thing. There are actual book collections in the world, in the United States, where the books are collected specifically because they are bound in human skin.
Yeah.
Usually they're medical texts.
Just because they aren't city civilized doesn't mean they like filth. Yeah, I mean that's true. Running over raptor, I agree. I personally like the filthy goblin. Like I like the idea that they are. It's not that they're like uncivilized; they just don't care because they're kind of immune to all the garbage.
If you're immune to all like diseases or poisons, why bother?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like a goblin, that makes total sense. Like a goblin ranger or something. Yeah, yeah. Goblins can definitely be highly intelligent and civilized, and like have a cabin in the woods where they hunt and fish and make soap. But goblin warrens are not supposed to be happy places. They're supposed to be awful and screaming, and all of the babies are in cages.
Yeah, when I think of Goblin Warren, I think of the trailer I was cleaning out.
Just
Filth everywhere.
see, I would put goblins below like dirty trailer park. Like that's too nice. The fact that there is like a constructed building, no, that's not goblins. Goblins don't build shit. Goblins burrow. Goblins burrow and goblins.
That's rat folk that live in the trailers.
Yeah, the rat folks was build nests. Nests of some kind. Where I grew up, there was like trailer parks, which were really like not actually trailer parks. They were just the what are they called? Mobile homes, not manufactured homes, just like stuck on slabs next to each other.
Yeah.
Trailers, as we just call them.
They're trailers, yeah. I mean, it was a trailer park like that. But like then every time I hear the word trailer park, I always think of King of the Hill, where like Luann, she stabbed Daddy with a fork. It's just like oh poor Luann. And then there's a tornado and it like flips their trailer over.
Damn it, Barber.
Yep. I haven't thought about that in a while. There's a new TikTok trend going around where people use Hank Hill and put a weird dog gif thing. It's strange. I don't understand TikTok. I still don't get it. I've always thought that goblin dogs are just the exact inverse of hypoallergenic. Hyperallergenic, yeah. Super allergic. Very true.
Yeah. I mean, sounds about right to me.
Here you go, Jared.
Hey, it's High Mountain. What's his name? No, wait, that's a High Mountain Tauren. I just can't remember what his name is, which he might not be an actual thing.
I think it's just someone's OC. Character, whatever.
I have a Goblin Tribe that views the act of getting dirty as an art. So they make an annual pilgrimage to the waterfall to get blank canvases. That's pretty funny. What an asshole town. Like, hey, they're gonna go make our water dirty. We'd better go interrupt their religious thing. Maybe just don't drink the water for a few weeks.
Yeah. It's running water. Just give it a couple days. It'll go down to the next village.
And here's an idea. Plant a couple of reed bed silt trap ponds to catch the filth.
Or just pay your local druid to purify the water.
Yeah. Oh, a world where magic exists.
Exactly.
I keep having this weird problem. And that's not a problem. Let me state this clearly. I keep thinking about like, oh, it'd be really cool to live in a world where magic exists, and then I think of things like bullets. Like, you could not take a cartridged bullet to, I don't know, 500 AD and try to explain to somebody what it is. Like, somebody might understand enough about black powder to be like, oh, okay, cool. But the fact that it's so small and what it does is just like, I think it would explode somebody's brain, but maybe not. Like, we have some pretty weird technology We just keep casting Fireball in this world, right? It's bonkers.
That's just so much it calls a gate open to the fire plane.
I mean, like, the sending spell is technically worse than a cell phone.
Significantly.
Significantly worse than a walkie-talkie. It's got a shorter range. You can only send a message at a time. It's like a pager. It's like a shitty pager.
25 words.
Mm-hmm.
It's worse than Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, the pager is a definite upgrade from the sending spell. So, like, fuck you, Magic. We're already past that shit. We don't need that.
Oh, the days where I could just go invisible and ignore people. Or just use rope trick and just hide a little extra planar.
Yeah, that's not fair, because that's just made up. What do you want to do? Can I just pull myself out of existence for a little bit? Like, oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. See, I never actually looked at the spell rope trick for the rope
Trick.
trick, yes, for a long time, and then I looked at it and was like, this is not what I was imagining it did.
I think it changed, because rope trick used to just, you basically could put a rope up. It was a magical grappling hook for a long time, I think, in
Well,
older
like,
editions.
Yeah.
Then I also saw a spell for animate rope, and I was like, okay, that's what I was imagining it was doing, animating it.
Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
But like, at least in 5th edition, it's the rope flies up in the air, sticks to something, and a portal opens, and you have a little
Yeah, I guess you're right.
20-foot block you can just stay in.
Ah, okay. So it is a 2nd level wizard spell in 3.5 that does the same thing, but it only lasts 1 hour per level. So essentially, like, it's not really good for anything but a short rest until you're like level 10.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Kind of like an alternative to the tiny hut, if you don't use the tiny hut.
Yep. Very cool. Yeah, I think I was thinking of animate rope as well. Animate rope is the one that just makes it go up.
That's what I keep picturing in my head,
Yeah.
like rope trick.
Rope trick. I made this. I think we were talking about rats, and I accidentally made this corgi a rat. There we go.
Doesn't look like a rat.
His nose is just a little too pointy.
Oh.
Bork, bork, bork. Ugh, now he looks normal. What have I done? I've ruined the eyes.
Weird material component for rope trick. Other than just the rope.
I thought it just needed a 60-foot rope. Is there something else?
Yeah. A powdered corn extract, so cornstarch. And
Oh, because it makes it stick.
Yeah, yeah.
You gotta starch the rope up.
Because that's how, like, the whole Indian rope trick.
The motherboard is essentially a magic circle. Yeah, yeah. That was the other thing I was thinking. What was I saw like a tweet or a Reddit post this like a while back that was like, computers are essentially just people tricking rocks into thinking. And it's like, balls. What if we take this rock and we just shoot it with lightning bolts until it thinks? It's like, I like it. I like it. I kind of wonder if there's this collective faith in electronics. And if one day someone wrote a paper, they were like, hey, I don't think electronics actually work. And everyone looked at it, it would just break the whole system and everything would fall apart. Everything stops working.
Are you suggesting that we are sky orcs?
Yes, sure. I don't know what that means, but it sounds like probably.
Warhammer 40k?
Do they just faith themselves into existence?
Yeah. All of their technology works because they believe it does.
Nice.
The oldest orc in existence is immortal because he's convinced himself and everybody else that he is.
I don't know if anybody's ever read Journey to the West. I need to finish it. I've tried to read it like 3 times. It's so long, and
Like what, 20 volumes long?
yeah, and it's
not
all written in poetry, so it's super weird. But the Monkey King basically, like, spoiler alert for a 500-year-old story. He dies and he goes to hell, and they're like, hey, so you died? And he's like, fuck that, I didn't die. And he's like, show me the books. Show me where it says I died. And they're like, okay. And they show him the book, and he just crosses his name out. He's like, there, see? Name's not in the book. Fuck you. And they're like, okay. And then he leaves. And that's how the Monkey King became immortal, is he Karen'd his way into the books in hell and erased his own name.
Ways he became immortal.
Yeah. I mean, he did a lot of shit, but that was the funniest one to me, because he basically essentially just dies of old age and then decides not to. Yeah. And no one argues with him. They're like, we're sorry. You know who I am.
I remember, like, he eats these peaches of immortality.
Mm-hmm, yep.
And then drinks this potion of immortality, and then gets
cooked
baked in a cauldron.
Yep.
And doesn't die. I was like, they're like, oh no.
They accidentally temper him and make him indestructible.
Yep. So the only thing they could do is lob a mountain at him and walk him under it.
They stuck him under a mountain. God, it's such a good story. I'm gonna start reading it again.
Oh, but Jared, when you mentioned Warhammer orcs, someone explained to me that the dwarves in the fantasy Warhammer world, the reason they're resistant to magic is because they think they're resistant to magic.
Yeah.
Like, we can't do magic because we're resistant to magic, because we think so.
I'm glad that we as humans don't actually function like that, because if we did... I'm just saying, there are some really shitty people who believe real hard in religion, and I don't want the Westboro Baptist Church, for instance, to be correct.
Wait, so which one of us was right? It was the Mormons. Oh. I miss and don't miss South Park. Like, I have not watched South Park in probably 10 years, but the amount, actually it's been longer than that now, 15 years. The amount of South Park I got before I stopped watching it was enough. Like, they touched on everything.
Where do humans pry? I don't know what those weird creatures are.
Half of literature is based off of Playground Tumblr? I don't know what that means.
What?
Off of Playground, yeah, I don't know. Sorry, Bionic, that went over my head. All right, I think I'm done with this corgi. I think we're gonna move on to the next one. Let's see. So now we're down to a D6. Dr. Random, Ogre Alchemist, but it's kitchen supplies instead of potions, please. That's not too specific. So it's an Ogre cook? I guess. You can do that.
Very orc. They're just trying to make pretty.
What's pretty?
Pretty is an ogre ship in the third campaign.
Critical Role.
Oh, am I doing fan art now? Is that what's happening?
They didn't ask for pretty specifically,
Yep.
so maybe not.
It was hilarious. Such a stressful episode too.
Yeah, it was.
It's like, oh god, why are y'all rolling like crap?
And they finally make it out alive. What should we do now? And Orm's like, we gotta get you ladies to your date, right? They're like, oh my
Right?
gosh!
That's
Totally
great.
forgot. Yeah.
That's great, bro.
Phrase that better. I realize now I could have phrased that better. Gotcha. Is Tumblr still a thing? People
Yes,
still use Tumblr?
I don't know.
but not many people are on it anymore. We're active on it.
I still post my art there, and I never know if it's actually, like, functional. Like, do people give a shit?
They disabled not safe for work stuff, right? And you killed them.
Basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
Let all social media platforms beware. Do not mess with the furry community. They will wreck your shit.
Probably good words to live by.
You doing the net, ogre?
Yeah.
Every time I say it, I feel like I'm using bad English.
An eatin'?
You
You gonna,
eating
yeah,
yet?
yeah, eating yet? That's what I was thinking. Gonna eat that apple?
Oh,
Sung Wukong is like a Tumblr god OC who can do anything.
oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's a little bit,
Mary
he's
Sue.
a little bit Mary Sue. I mean, but like that's what it was written for, and that's kind of I think part of the problem is it was essentially one of the first serialized comics. That's the best way I can think about it. Like, it was written like and published in little tiny pamphlets, and then all of those pamphlets got grabbed and crammed into the whole book. But so it very much feels like over the course of like 5 years, the author kind of forgot what he wrote and rewrote it. Or he didn't expect people to read it all. He just kind of like, here's another story of Sun Wukong. But this time he fights a dragon. Like, he fought a dragon last week. I'm like, it's a blue dragon. It's like, all right.
Next time.
Yeah.
On King.
So if you just read it straight, like just read it all, it sometimes gets a little weird. Because he'll do something, and then like the very next time they'll do the exact same thing, and it's just like that's what happened last time. How are they gonna get out of it this time? Oh, it's the same way.
Will Pigsy ever grow a spine? The answer is no.
He knows all magic, and the gods either tolerate him or fear his existence. Yeah, basically, I do like that his weaknesses is basically him sucking at stuff, like, or just being way too cocky. That's what it is. And so, like, it appears to someone, like, from an outside perspective, it would appear that he's this omnipresent being, but, like, all the other gods know way more than him, and they're just annoyed that he exists. I can turn into 23 different things! And they're like, okay, that's 23 of everything that exists. Like, that's nothing. That's not many things at all.
I think one of my favorite things is before he gets locked there in the mountain is the Buddha like tells him to jump out of his palm.
Yeah.
So he does, or at least he thinks he does. He goes all the way to the edge and sees these pillars. He just has to pee and write his name on it. And he jumps back and it's like, you didn't jump out of my palm. And he looks really close at the Buddha's hand and
He's got his name written on the finger, yeah.
yeah. He's like, yeah, that was my palm.
So weird.
Yeah.
Weird stuff, and I love it. So
It gets pretty esoteric some days. I was like, whoa.
I like his like the cloud that Goku rides on, right?
Yeah.
One of the things he was supposed to learn as a he was training with this monk, and one of the things he was supposed to learn was cloud stepping, where you just basically can travel vast distances by jumping and stepping on the clouds. But he couldn't do it because he was a monkey, and he's just like, I can't walk. This is stupid. I hate it. But he discovered he could do a flip. So he started cloud somersaulting, and that's where the cloud imagery comes from. Is him like jumping and rolling through the clouds like a monkey would. And I always thought that was really funny that he's just like, haha, I've imparted my own unique spin on it because I can't walk. It's like, are you a monkey or are you not a monkey? I can't tell. You do a lot of weird shit. Definitely good stuff.
There's this YouTube channel. Occasionally they'll put out like this little animatic of different sections of the Journey to the West. So it's been going on for a really long time because it's such a long book.
Yep. Oh, geez. Pretty big boy. I work with the public at my job, and I'm not qualified to answer what humans are. I lost understanding and signed the contract. Here we go. I get way too excited about the Monkey King. I like the hat idea, so I'll give him the little toga. And then since he's an alchemist, maybe I'll give him like big old glasses, like goggles. Take it back and put him on his head. Safety goggles. Monkey King. Journey to the West Part 1. It was really hard. I bought a book of it. Actually, I got like 4 books. It was a series. But I bought it probably 15, 20 years ago. And at the time, I couldn't find all of them. It was really frustrating. And there were a handful of people that were reading it online, but they kept getting taken down. Because, yeah.
Why?
China's just really protective of it. They're really, really protective of it. So they didn't get like the correct permission to do it.
But it's old enough. International copyright law shouldn't have any.
You'd think so. But yeah, so it's weird. So at the time, I had a really hard time finding it, and I finally did find a copy of it. But yeah, there's a lot of like abridged versions and like weird translations of it. And I really wanted to find like the whole collection. So that's one of my little, like... That's something people can know about me now. I really like the Monkey King.
I mean, we saw your Venara video.
Yeah, I had to do it. I had to draw the Monkey King for that one.
But the point is, I think anybody who saw that already knows, or already knew. You liking the Monkey King is not spoilers.
I don't know how I'm going to make this body work.
I feel like it should be more shoulders. I think I gave him too much shoulders.
Am I taking up too much space?
No. I think I'm going to have to edit this a little bit. Trying to copyright is weird, and translation. Yeah. For some reason, there's a whole bunch of German versions of it that you could buy at the time. Yeah.
That's odd.
I mean, this was before you could just buy shit on Amazon. So like when I was looking, I was like looking on eBay, and I was looking from like actual booksellers, and there just weren't a lot of copies of it available. I read the first huge anthology of it from the library. I had to get. That's what happened. I had gotten it from the school's library, but it was missing the second volume, and I was just like, ah! And so I started trying to buy them, and I couldn't find any of them. That's what happened. I eventually found it though. Okay, so this is gonna be. There we go. That's better. Give him an apron. Give him like a leather tool apron. Like a spatula in it. So, like, does one of the heads want to be a great chef and the other's just like, let's just microwave it? Could do it that way. I kind of figured it was more like one of them wants to cook something, and the other one just wants to see what kind of chemicals you could use to cook it. Scientific culinarians.
Want to make fish? Ooh, ceviche. No, I want to grill fish, but why use heat when you could use lemon juice?
Combustion reactions are just as interesting to chemists as acids.
I know. I'm just positing a potential argument.
I knew a chemist who all he did was calculate combustion reactions, and he's like, I fucking hate it. But it's easy, so I do it. And I was like, all right. I hate stoichiometry.
Same.
I don't know why. Like, I get math pretty easy, and I get like word problems pretty easy. But for some reason, stoichiometry is just I always fail at it. It's like I don't know what I did. I don't know why it's wrong. I'm molecular gastronomy. Yeah, it's the same thing. Cooking is a science. That's not true. Baking is a science. Cooking is an art. But baking is chemistry. 100% chemistry.
I am really bad with math, so I don't understand the mathematics behind stoichiometry. Um, and I certainly do not understand the language of.
Yeah, it's all relational, which to me, like in my head, usually works pretty well.
Yeah.
I think a part of it is like the memorization of calculating like molar mass and stuff. I think I just always screw that up. Because it's very precise. Like you have to be precise, and I'm not good at precise. I'm good at I'm good at vague and assumptions. Approximations, yeah. There we go.
I'm really good at understanding the theoreticals, the conceptual.
Let me posit you a theorem.
Yeah. But when it comes time to start calculating shit, my brain gives up. Perfect. Man, I really do love Laudna.
He's wholesome creepy.
Yeah.
For now. Because she turns on everyone and kills them.
She becomes possessed by Delilah Briarwood.
I had to say
Sorry,
that to
spoilers.
Jump Rope the other day. We were playing D&D. I was like, if you want to kill them all, you can. Like, that's totally fine.
So if any of the new characters are going to turn evil, it's going to be fresh cut grass. I don't trust it. I don't trust Sam.
Never trust Sam.
No, never.
While you can never trust Sam, you also can't trust Sam to not be untrustworthy.
It's too happy. Way too happy. It's like one of those, like, toxic positive person. Overly toxic positive people that you find. Like, Why can't you be happy? I'm happy.
Like Kevin from 30 Rock. I don't understand, Kevin. How can you be so happy all the time? Your life is in shambles. You've lost everything you care about. How can you stand there and still be happy? I'm not gonna lie to you. Or I'll tell you. I lie to myself. A lot. One of these days I'm not gonna be able to lie to myself anymore, and then I just don't know what's gonna happen.
And just pops.
Yep.
Yet again, he's playing a short character.
Yeah, I think it's part of his trope now. I think he's leaning into it because he's actually really tall,
He is really
but everybody
tall.
thinks of him as super short because because he only plays short characters.
Like, is he really tall or really short? I can never really tell.
I think he's like 6'3", isn't he?
Yeah, something like that. 6'2", 6'3". He's taller than Liam.
I always thought Liam was taller.
You need to go watch their podcast thing. I mean, I guess they stopped doing it like pretty soon after they started doing it, but
I mean, the videos are still up.
yeah.
I know I've watched a few of them. Guess I never really paid attention.
I mean, he does kind of have like short man energy.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Another name for like Napoleon complex or
I was gonna say that's like a nice way of saying Napoleon complex.
yeah.
Burning, how are you today?
I'm doing alright. Was feeling like crap and under the weather yesterday, but feeling a lot better today.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah, good.
And it was a stomach-related thing, so thankfully those usually pass pretty quickly. At least in my experience.
Food poisoning.
It very well may have been.
Eating that 7-Eleven sushi.
Oh, you could not pay me. I already have a hard enough time with most seafood. I'm not going to do anything that's going to ruin sushi for me.
Don't know what else to give this guy. Maybe some buttons. We'll do some buttons. Give him some flasks. Some flasks that are just like seasonings. A bunch of dried flavors.
Just remembering the trolls from the Hobbit movie arguing over how they're gonna cook the dwarves.
Mm-hmm.
They should be grilled with a bit of sage.
I mean, dwarf has got to be pretty gamey, right?
All that high fat, high beer content.
Dwarves are mostly muscle, I thought.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought Corvus was referring to the things that they ate.
Yeah.
Oh.
They eat. Yeah.
I thought you were high fat content on the dwarfs. I was like, Dwarves are nimble sprinters.
Very dangerous over short distances.
I was referring to the malt beer and red meat off the bone they constantly consume.
Thinking about dwarves now, I think it's kind of fascinating that Tolkien dwarves are entirely reliant on other societies because they themselves have no agriculture.
Yeah, but they're so good at metal and stonework that they can do that.
Yeah. No, I think it's like actually fascinating. I don't think it's like a problem with the world.
Mm-hmm. I really like that. I really like that aspect of it.
Like, yeah, anywhere that lives close to dwarves, just part of their life. They're trading with dwarves and giving them food for things like metal, stone, anything that they can't produce as well.
I think I'm stalling out here.
Yeah.
I'm getting distracted. I might just do one more and call it a day.
I was really hoping to get to more than one this time, but as usual, I lost myself in the details.
Might add a little more details to this guy. Feels really sloppy now. Let's do this. I would do that. There we go. Tighten it up. Have we been listening to the same song for like an hour? No, we're good. Do.
More items to explore. Would you like the Critical Role of the New Origins? Mordekaiser's Tome? How to Draw Furries? What? That's pretty great.
I can draw furries just fine, thank you.
You are right now.
I know.
My entire Google search is Mighty Nine and D&D related content, followed by shit tons of like audio video equipment, and then that one book of how to draw manga furries. It's just like, why are you there? It's funny. Oh, beef jerky. No, I don't need more beef jerky. It's fine.
Why am I looking at the internet? I got distracted again. Sorry.
Were you looking to roll something?
What? Looking to roll some? What? No. I was actually maybe that's what I was doing. Jump Rope asked me to look for something, and I was like, oh okay, and then I got distracted.
Most of my stuff right now is D&D related and Demon Slayer.
I think we're gonna call that there. I think we're gonna call that one done. Let's do one more.
We'll do one more here. It's 11:30. Let's see what we got here. An artificer who makes art out of ice, because why not? So like a chainsaw sculptor? An artificer who makes art out of ice.
Okay.
There's golems everywhere.
You say kobolds everywhere?
No, I said ice golems.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Not sure how you got kobolds.
Your mic did. There was a
Oh,
little bit of static or something, so
Okay.
I can see how he could hear kobolds.
Bum 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 ba dum ba dum bum. Money can be exchanged for food. Wait, what did I miss here? Has anyone seen Sam and the Chaos Gods in the same room? Cast acid splash by squirting lemons in your eyes. Cures me just. Sorry, here you go.
Fire sprinkles.
That could be pretty funny too. Dragon. Looks like he's chiseling a dragon out of ice instead of chiseling a dragon out of ice. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I got it.
Part of me wants to go make a video for this week. And part of me wants to go play Elden Ring.
I'll go play Elden Ring for you.
Thanks for taking that one for me.
Yeah, I just started playing that Monday. I'm only a few hours in, but it's really good.
I'm enjoying it.
I went with the guy who starts with 2 swords.
The bandit or yeah, it doesn't really matter. That seems to be the good one. That and like the mage. The mage seems to be really, really powerful.
Yeah. Well, after like a couple encounters, I remembered anyone who starts with 2 swords in a Dark Souls game, it's a really good start.
Yeah.
I watched one person play a little bit of it, and it is a beautiful setting. It is. I can tell that it is definitely not the sort of game that I would enjoy playing. Just because really hard, and
I've had a friend go through all of the stages of grief over it. Of just like
already.
yeah.
Wow.
I hate this. This is too hard. This is amazing. I fucking love this. It's like, yep. That's it. That's a Dark Souls game.
From the little bit I've experienced, I think in some ways it's probably the most inviting and like easy to start Soulsborne game.
Yeah, it's really quick. It's really quick. They don't have like a whole long tutorial that you get stuck in, and
Yeah.
the storyline is actually driven instead of the old ones where you're just like, I think I'm supposed to go this way. I don't know what's happening.
I think I'm the good guy. Right?
Oh, Dr. Random, did I get punked? Is that why? Into art if Icer. Yeah.
Oh, boo.
What is it?
It's a pun.
Oh.
An artificer. Artificer?
Oh.
I really hate drawing artificers because it's not a good class. Like, it's a fine thing to play, but like, it's a sub job. It's like, hi, I'm a wizard that builds shit.
Yeah.
It's like it's too. The artificer just makes me upset because like the alchemist was a really cool class, and like
In
it's
Pathfinder, yeah.
in Pathfinder, yeah. And
We
so
had this conversation yesterday.
we did. So I don't know. Artificer is just like artificer should be a set of feats, not a class. But that's just my opinion on it.
Tell that to Steve Baker who created it.
Get them on the show. I will fight them.
I mean, he's a rather prolific blogger and Twitter user, so you could probably argue with him on there.
I think the reason it makes sense for it to be a class in 5e is that 5e does not have the feat system,
It doesn't,
like
yeah.
a robust enough feat system to have it be a feat build.
Yep, I agree. I think it makes sense for the 5e. The 5e universe. The way they have it set up. Because it does. It puts all of it in the same spot, and then you don't have to worry about conflicting with, like, mage spells and things. It's just like, this person makes magic shit. It's like, dope. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
The
I
only
feel like
problem
they
with...
could've-
Yeah. Go ahead.
I feel like they still could have done that as a wizard subclass.
Yeah. And that's why I really think that, like, alchemist, enchanter, and weaponsmith should all be subclasses of different things, because you can have like a wizard alchemist, or you can have a wizard blacksmith, or a sorcerer blacksmith. I think those are a lot of really cool things you can do with it.
Yeah.
So the artificer itself isn't bad. It's a really cool class. It's fun. Like, it's fun to play, but like, I don't like that. That's just like, that's really what I'm upset about, is that that's the end all be all for crafting in 5e. It's just like, I don't know, magic. It's like, fuck, come on. I'm mad at the system, not at the character.
Yeah. Which is what I was going to say, which was basically the 5e as a system is good because it's simplified. It really isn't built for things like the Artificer to exist in it. It is 5e was built basically to be easily accessible, right? Really boiled down. In order to have like an artificer or an alchemist or anything that starts making shit,
Yeah.
you really have to have a more flexible system, which is why it was really good in Pathfinder and really limited in a not fun way in 5e.
And something else that, like, for the same reasons, the summoner doesn't exist as well as it could in 5e. The getting like the robot and stuff for the artificer is cool, and I like that, but it really doesn't touch on the constructs that used to be in 3.5 and Pathfinder, because anyone could build a construct, anyone could build a flesh golem, and so I think it is very simplified and it works just fine, and it's great, but there's still something to be said about like companions and summoners and necromancers, and this just kind of missing. And so I definitely am glad the artificer got put into the game, but it's still there's an underlying functionality of creation magic that just isn't there.
Yeah.
I feel like the biggest reason like it's hamstrung and limited is just because of how important and powerful the action economy in 5e is.
Sure, yeah, and that's kind of the problem with the, like, giving someone 2 characters is huge. It's huge in 5e. In Pathfinder, less so. Like, it's just multiple attacks, but they're usually scaled down quite a bit. I think they're on on a -4 level comparatively, so it doesn't really affect the party scaling unless you do something with it.
Even like something as simple as giving a wizard or sorcerer a familiar in 5e can be huge. So yeah, I feel like that's probably a big reason that they're at least hesitant to put something like the summoner in.
Which I wonder if they'll deal with that in 6th edition.
Yeah, I wonder.
Be like me, do 2e 5e hybrid. I mean, I think that's how most people play. At least people who are upset about things. Pretty much everything I do is Pathfinder or 3.5 compatible, regardless of what we're doing.
Same. I was just gonna say I just play Pathfinder. Although lately I am playing more 5e just because the person who is DMing right now is not our usual DM, and they have a much easier time running 5e, which is totally fair and respectable. Pathfinder does get real complicated, and if you don't have a system set up for dealing with all of that extra shit, it can get pretty.
Yeah, I see a lot of people play 1 or 2 5e games, and they're like, I'm going to DM and I'm going to make my own campaign. It's like, don't do that. Like, really, like, DM a 5e system for a while before you try to start really interjecting your own shit. Because 5e is real simple, and if you're just learning, it's a lot easier to just pick up and throw at the wall. And then when you feel really comfortable, you can start adding things. That's the best way I can describe it. A lot of people feel like, oh, I wish this was better. It's like, yeah, that's Pathfinder. Or yeah, that's 5th edition or 4th edition. Like, this should be. It's like, yep, that's 3.5. Yep. Like, that exists already. You don't have to reinvent it. So, the rules are out there. And you can definitely do that. That's the way we did with when Kevin the Necromancer started playing an Artificer. We basically grabbed the 3.5 guide and let him fiddle with that a little bit. And we just talked about it whenever he wanted to add something. And works just fine. Works just fine. All right, he looks kind of like a cobbler here, but He's got the cold hat on, so I think that helps. We'll give him bigger, poofier sleeves.
The abilities are busted strong, even with 2 hit points.
Yeah, I mean, being able to deliver your spells at a range is great. Like,
I think it's the best thing. I dove head first into it. I started DMing straight into homebrew.
I don't think it's bad.
Yeah.
I don't think it's bad.
It's just overwhelming for a lot of people. That is also how I did it, and I did it in Pathfinder, not 5e. So if you like, you are willing to roll with the punches, and like accept that your first campaign is not going to go great, it's a great way to learn.
The benefit of having a homebrew campaign is you can basically just make shit up as you go and not worry about it. Yeah. Which I think homebrew campaigns are fine. Like, the thing I see more, I guess, is what I'm saying is with people creating their own systems. They're like, I don't think this is right, so I'm going to do this. And it's like, okay, that's actually already a rule. Or the one I get all the time is like, why doesn't this exist in 5e? I'm like, it does. Did you not Google it? Like, Google it first, and then see if that's a thing. So I don't know if people just like only have the Dungeon Master's Guide, or they only play with rules they think they've seen on Critical Role. I get that from time to time.
Yeah.
A lot of people were confused, especially in first campaign. It's like, how are they doing that? That's not in the rules. Like, well, it's a Pathfinder rule that they brought over. Like,
you can do that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Why not? So, it really is just a people get kind of
over ambitious and don't need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I say I want to do homebrew stuff, I don't mean like I want to create my own like system. I just want to create my own world.
Yeah. Yeah, making your own story is fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
I do want to create my own system, but I feel like not because I want to like substitute what my table is playing with, just because I want to make a system.
It's a challenge. It's a thing.
I've seen enough people do it that it's possible.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of work.
And it can be really fun, and sometimes your homebrew add-ons do fill a niche that needs to be filled, but you don't. I mean, you say this all the time. You don't have to reinvent the wheel when the wheel's already there.
Are you creating like Chutney's cousin who works at ice instead of wood for it?
Yep. Hey, guess what? If you want to sculpt ice, you use a lot of woodworking tools.
Yeah,
that's very true. Very true.
I could see the chutney entrance though.
Chutney.
I like chutney.
Minotaur. Yeah, Moose Minotaur.
We talked about this. It's not. It's no, Minotaur works, right? Is that what we discovered? Yeah.
Yes.
Because the words are made up and it doesn't matter.
Right?
Don't be afraid to make the wrong call at any moment.
Yeah. I mean that's great. The thing with DMing is just go with the flow.
As long as the table agrees that the ruling is fair, doesn't matter.
Be consistent. That's the other one.
I was going to say, Just make that ruling kind of consistent. Just don't do it willy-nilly. Oh, someone liked my comment. Thanks, YouTube.
Also, just balance in like a cooperative game really is only a problem when it gets in the way of fun.
Sure.
Like, I don't see it as a problem for like barbarians to be like absurdly strong.
Yeah.
I think the problem comes in when like rangers are weak and not fun to play.
Yeah.
I disagree.
And you know what? That's fair. That's a totally valid argument.
What's the saying? Like, a fish will always feel stupid if you judge it on how well it can climb a tree.
Something like that,
Something
yeah.
like that. I think a lot of people see barbarians being powerful, and they're like, why isn't every other class that powerful? And it's like, because they do other things. Like,
I think
chill.
the case of the ranger is, it's not so much that they're comparing it to the barbarian or fighter. It's kind of like this mixed bag, and no one knows what to do with it.
Yeah, it's a very specialized thing. And I've said this before. I think rangers are really, really good as NPCs. And if you're playing a character as a ranger, you're probably not a world traveled adventurer. Like, rangers are very much supposed to be kind of specialized in an area or a thing. And so when people do that, they're like, yeah, I'm a dungeon diver. It's like, cool, we're going to go deal with political intrigue in this large city. And it's like, well, you suck now. So, I mean...
Time to make a new character.
Yeah, time to make a new character. I think that's part of it. And I think they have changed a little bit of it, letting you, like, swap things out. And I still think the Ranger can be really fun, but it is very much a... I think it needs... Yeah, it should be niched, and it should be picked for the campaign. It's not going to be a... Whereas a Barbarian is just... It's a hammer. A Barbarian is a hammer that fits everywhere. Like,
Right.
It's the Omni tool.
Like, a lot of people, I realize, like, don't do, like, gathering of resources
Yep.
or the exploration bit of that is in what the ranger gets, like, at first and second level.
People don't roll for surviving the night. Like, a lot of the stuff that rangers do is glossed over, and that's just, once again, not the right campaign.
Yeah.
I think another part of that is also like when people want like a big varied campaign, like, because again, rangers specialize like with their favorite enemy. It's like, oh well, I don't want you guys to be fighting goblins the whole time.
That's why they specialized it.
Exactly.
Right, and the ranger's like, I want to be fighting goblins the whole time.
And that goes back to the optimization, right? Like, a barbarian is a blunt instrument. It works everywhere. Whereas a ranger, if all of a sudden you don't feel optimized, like, it's not fair, we don't fight goblins enough. It's like, you should feel really great when you do fight goblins. Like, that's what I feel like the specialization should be. Something I love is just like, do I get advantage because I know stuff about goblins? And it's like, you know what? Yeah, in this situation, I think so. I get really lax about that stuff with rangers, and especially if you can like make an argument for it, because I think that kind of stuff doesn't take into account enough, and it can be like really mundane shit. Like, would goblins have done something like this? It's like, you would know for sure that they would not have, and this is something goblins would probably avoid. Like, I don't know if that's really helpful information, but like, you can give that kind of information to someone who's specialized in something, right?
It's at least more RP than what some rangers are able to get. So
Yeah, and just because you're not like being able to track somebody, I'll also be really lax with rangers. Like, I will give them advantage on investigation checks just because it's something they're used to doing, right? Like, even if you're not tracking goblins, but you are tracking humanoids, it's like, yeah, you still get an advantage on this. Like, you know enough about pack tactics, or your experience with goblins is relevant here.
in small ways. So. I would DM the Make Some Scratch Rule lawyer will still argue with me for 30 minutes of my own mechanics and rules. That's weird. That is weird.
That's what you get for playing with a lawyer.
Yeah. Consistency. Barbarians are actually kind of weak if it's outside of the physical traits, unless your RP played really well. Once again, we had this whole conversation about barbarians yesterday, monks yesterday.
Yeah.
I really think the biggest problem with people thinking there are rangers were undertuned for a long time. I won't try to fight that. But I don't care about overpowered and underpowered stuff because you can have fun with either one of those things. I'm a huge fan of the old system of like kobolds being the weakest thing that exists. I still play kobolds all the time; they're fun. None of it really matters because if you're playing the story right, it should all fit in. You can still have a really fun campaign with 4 stupid commoners like that don't know what's happening, and Batman shows up, right? Like Batman is way more qualified to deal with everything that's going on, but god damn it, we got to keep these 4 people alive. Let's go. Like that sounds like a really fun campaign. If you right, one person being overpowered in a party is not a bad thing. It just changes the dynamics of how things have to happen. And that's kind of the part I like about being a DM is like solving that puzzle. Like, how do I make this interesting for everybody? And I have had that go horribly wrong. I set up a campaign with Lars, Kevin, and Jump Rope, and I expected Kevin's giant monster corpse companion thing to fight a hill giant, and Lars's gunslinger to deal with all of the tiny banshees that were whipping around because he had magical guns. And instead, Kevin ran away and decided to have the ghost chase him, while Lars ran up and decided to shoot a giant in the face, and it killed him. It killed him very hard and in one hit. So it was just like, what were you guys thinking? This is not how I had this planned. So it's a thing. It's a thing, right? Like that's the DM puzzle that I kind of love to deal with. That I think people is just like, it's not fair. Like, why is my character so overpowered? It's like, well, it's because I'm a lazy DM sometimes. That's definitely a thing that happens.
I think one thing that Bionic in this is also touching on, though, is a lot of DMs are very combat focused when they build their campaigns and encounters, which thus then skews more heavily to the classes that are like purely combat focused.
Yep.
Like the spell Friends becomes useless when literally everything just wants to eat your face.
Yep. I reuse a lot of my stories. A lot of my dungeons, my puzzles, I put them in different places, and you have to tailor fit them for each party. I think that's just something you have to do.
That's also true.
Gotta change things up a little bit to make it interesting. I gotta go, be right back. No problem. I think we're about done here. It is noon. I think we did a pretty good job.
Yep.
We got
about done.
Got an orc. We got a corgi, an armored corgi, and an ice sculptor. Put a little more ice here. Yeah, that was fun. Thanks for hanging out today, everybody. Barbs need more personality than Rage Potato. Yeah, that's just, the chaotic, stupid barbarian is just as bad as the lawful, stupid paladin. Give your characters personality, people. Like, have fun with it. Yep. I'm in the Underdark campaign, and the Rangers are so useful because they made it all drow, illithids, and aberrations. Yeah, I mean, that's a cool way to do it. And that's the thing. Like, that's why I like them as NPCs. Because if you're going somewhere, it's like, it would probably be good to have someone who is an expert of the area. Find a ranger. Like, we need to find somebody who's an expert of living here. And that's where they're really cool. It's just, all of a sudden, you then tell, like, hey, we're going to this place over here. And the ranger's going to be like, I'm out. It's like, I'm not going over there. Why would I go over there? All of my clothes would stick out like a sore thumb. Who knows? Okay.
thanks again, everybody, for hanging out. Thanks for drawing with me today, Druid.
Yeah. Fun.
I'm gonna go work on some commission work, I think, over on Twitch for a little bit after lunch, and then just hang out for this today. So, thanks again. Stay happy, stay healthy, keep your dice on the table, and we'll catch you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.